Hello, everyone. We have been covering the Musk versus OpenAI trial for the past week now, and just when you think this story cannot get any more intense, it does. Today, we are taking a deep dive into this Reuters story. Musk sought settlement with OpenAI before Oakland trial. Filing shows. We are going to break down exactly what happened here and what the real risks are that every investor should know about. But before that, you are watching Let's Decode the News, where we take the biggest business and finance stories and decode them so anyone can understand. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that button right now. So let us get into it. Elon Musk contacted OpenAI President Greg Brockman to gauge interest in a settlement. Now think about what that actually means. 2 days before the trial. Not 2 months. Not 2 weeks. 2 days. Musk is publicly acting like he wants this fight. He is the one who filed the lawsuit. And then quietly, behind the scenes, he reaches out to settle. That tells you something very important. When someone talks tough in public, but moves toward a deal in private, it usually means they are not as confident as they appear. And here is the part that makes it even more significant. 2 days before their high-stakes trial got underway in Oakland federal court, according to a new court filing. Right so. For investors watching this trial, that gap between public posture and private action is a major signal. Because $150 billion in damages is a very loud number. But a quiet settlement call 2 days before trial tells a completely different story about how confident the legal team actually was going into that courtroom. But here is the line that stopped everything. When Brockman suggested both sides drop their claims, Musk allegedly said, "By the end of this week, you and Sam will be the most hated men in America." And honestly, that is not a settlement conversation anymore. That is a threat. Musk came in looking for a deal, and the moment Brockman offered one that did not favor him, he flipped into intimidation mode. Now think about what that does to the jury if they hear this. It shifts the entire narrative from a principled founder fighting for a charitable mission to someone using a federal courtroom as a weapon. Now here is the second half of that message. If you insist, so it will be, the filing, made on Sunday, stated. So here is why that matters. This filing was made on Sunday, right in the middle of an active trial. OpenAI's legal team did not have to release this. They chose to. And that choice is a calculated move. They want the public and the jury thinking about this message. They want the story to shift from OpenAI's governance problems to Musk's behavior, from a business perspective that is actually smart litigation strategy. Control the narrative and you influence the outcome. Now this is the part most people are skipping over. The SpaceX founder is seeking changes to OpenAI's leadership and $150 billion in damages from OpenAI and Microsoft, one of its largest investors. Right so, $150 billion, plus leadership changes, plus a potential restructuring of one of the most valuable AI companies on the planet. And this man tried to settle 2 days before trial. Those two things do not add up. Either the damages demand was never serious, it was always pressure, or Musk genuinely wanted out before things got messy in that courtroom. Either way, Microsoft is sitting in the middle of this with billions of dollars of exposure. And that is not a comfortable place to be. Now here is the part that puts everything in perspective. The trial before U.S. District Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers in Oakland, California began on April 28. Look at this. We have been covering this trial since day one. Jury selection, the diary, entries, the fine print admission. And now we are getting settlement messages and threat allegations. Every single week of this trial is another headline that chips away at OpenAI's IPO story. And here is the number that should concern every investor and is expected to last several weeks, with a verdict possible by mid-May. And honestly, mid-May, that is weeks away. Every day between now and that verdict is another filing, another leaked message, another round of bad press. We said in our first video, watch the IPO timeline as your signal. And right now that timeline is getting noisier by the day. That is exactly where my take comes in. But real quick, before I give you my take, this video is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. So, here is the thing nobody is saying out loud. This settlement attempt changes how I read this entire trial. Musk reaching out 2 days before proceedings began tells me the legal team had real concerns about what would come out in that courtroom. And we already saw one of those things, the fine print admission we covered in our last video. But there is more testimony coming. Altman, Brockman, and Microsoft's Satya Nadella are all expected on the stand later this month. Every one of those testimonies is a risk event for OpenAI's reputation, for Microsoft's stock narrative, for the broader AI investment story. Watch what Nadella says when he testifies. Microsoft has been quietly the most exposed party in this entire case, and nobody is really talking about that enough. If you have been following this series with us, give this video a like and subscribe so you do not miss a single update as this trial moves toward a verdict. And here is my question for you in the comments. Do you think Musk's settlement message was a genuine attempt to end this, or was it always just another pressure move? Drop your answer below. I read every single one.